Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Sturgios Voskopoulos on the line, and he is CEO over at Alt Novell, and this is part of our Super Berlin. I say Super Berlin, but I meant to say our Super Return Berlin series, where we bring you the best of those that participated and attended Super Return that took place in Berlin. Sturgios, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, Adam. Thanks for the invite.
Sturgios, I keep on taking that intro and calling it Super Berlin. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be some new branding one day. I don't know if my show's that important yet in Berlin. uh,
Yeah, the
well,
return is Berlin.
yeah. Well, great to have you on. And we're going to get into today's topic today. I definitely want to get into what you're doing at Alt Novell. But before we do that, let's talk about Super Return Berlin. So first off, have you been what's the connection to Super Return? Have you been before? Like give me some of the backstory.
Yeah, great. So actually, that's the largest private capital event in the world for me. I've been going for the past 15 years.
Oh wow. You have the
Uh,
new record, Sturgios. The record. So I mean for my show, the last record that I remember for my show is I interviewed somebody that had been going for 8 years. 15 is the new record. Go ahead, please. So you win.
yeah, yeah. No, actually, the first time I went was in 2008, and then there was a gap. But this is the event to be, right? When you work in the industry of private markets, from private equity to private credit to real estate and other asset classes. It's where all the large fund managers and all the large allocators from all over the world meet. And it's a great event because you get all the updates, all the insights of what's going on in the market. But also, it's a super networking event, right? So you
Mm.
meet everyone, and there are many side events as well where you connect, where you are linked to other fund managers and allocators. And yeah, it's a 5 day, it's a non-stop
Mm.
interaction.
So before we get into Alt Novell, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Like how'd you get into finance? Where'd that start for you?
I'm from Greece originally, and then I moved to New York. I did my MBA in finance, and that's where I started my career in the early 2000s from New York, London, and I came to the Middle East in Bahrain almost 20 years ago
Oh wow.
to work, yeah, to work for one of the largest regional asset managers. And I moved to Asia in 2011 for 4 years, Hong Kong, Beijing, and I came back to the Middle East. And I'm now located in Abu Dhabi.
Mm.
And so working in the world of fund management and wealth management too.
Man, you've lived all around in your career. So your global perspective just from being in all these markets, especially some of the times when you started. So you mentioned being in, 2008 and the markets that you were in then and all the way to now. So you've seen multiple cycles. You've seen a lot happen, whether it's technology, finance, products. You've seen a lot. And especially with your vantage point, I'm curious, what do you enjoy about what you do, like working in these markets?
I mean, we work in an industry that is also very human driven. We deal with people. Like asset management, wealth management, at the end, you deal with people. In a team, from a team perspective, from an investment perspective, when you have, capital formation, right? The power of
Hmm.
finance, the power of capital, to me, is quite important for any society, any economy. It's how you take this capital and you deploy it in opportunities, in development opportunities around the world. So I love being part of it, right? Because you are involved in impact oriented
Mm.
activities. It's not just trading, it's more long term also. So you take a more long term perspective. And by generating returns, you also make an impact.
Mm.
So it's quite exciting.
Sturgios, tell me a little bit more about Alt Novell before we move on.
I've been working in the institutional world for the past 25 years from New York, London, Middle East, and beyond. And then until recently, I was managing a family office, one of the largest family conglomerates here in the region, out of Bahrain and Emirates Saudi Arabia. And that's when I realized that larger family offices have the opportunity, have the affordability actually to employ teams and to be able to allocate their capital in a more institutional, structured way. But
Mm.
when it goes below that, so when you have wealth accumulating from at a lower range, I saw that there is a gap, right? Like private banking cannot meet the requirements and the demand for also allocation into private markets. that was until recently, it's been only a privilege of large institutions, financial institutions, or large family offices. And Altnovel, also being present here in the Middle East between East and West, we wanted to set up a proper institutional regulated investment platform powered by technology to be able and address these needs for more high net worth individuals and family offices, smaller family offices. So that's our mission, bridging private wealth and private markets by also using technology at our best we can in order to amplify and scale.
So just to make sure I'm understanding, well, actually, one question before I get there is, so when you say a smaller family office, what like ranges, not exact, but ranges, what do you mean by that?
We believe that from 1 million to 200 million, it's not easy, right, to manage your wealth,
Yeah.
especially when you want to allocate into private markets.
It's efficiency of cost too. If you think about efficiencies of
Exactly.
cost and research and all the other things it takes. So if I'm understanding this correct, I just wanted to get a number before I ask this question, so I have some ideas, some context. But if you think about it, in my mind, and correct me if I'm off on this, but you bring together multiple, and now you have its own form of, an institution, so to speak, by bringing together many individuals. Am I off on that understanding, or is that kind of where
That's
we're going?
very correct, Adam. That's very correct. It's actually the power of aggregation by still being nimble and bespoke. So it's a very competitive element for us.
Yeah, it seems like it would be, especially in different regions and especially with the range of offices that you're possibly working with and things like that. So super interesting. So go a little bit further maybe into the thesis and how the overall firm operates. It's interesting, the model.
Yeah, so we are a novel investment firm. We do have all the infrastructure that other financial institutions do have, but we are a fintech powered firm. What do I mean by fintech is the mix of finance and technology, use as much as we can technology in order to streamline processes, to automate processes. We're building digital tools that can first make us more intelligent internally and more efficient, but also to be able to engage more in terms of our clients, our investors, and fund managers. So we are a modern private capital platform, not having a lot of red tape.
Legacy systems, so like legacy systems at the big banks or other ones, like a lot of
Exactly.
expensive to carry over legacy.
Yeah, that's what made like even banks like Revolut so successful or Robinhood so successful. But we're not a purely tech firm. We want to still have the human element very active. And where we see that what AI cannot replace is human. And that's why also with several of our investors, we customize, we want to be bespoke, we follow passion or what is more interesting for different people when it comes to wellness, longevity, sports, arts, media. It's the invisible wealth, right, that is out there for many where they relate. And that's where actually we can bring capital, set up funds, or set up different structures where more can invest with an end market to be the human potential, the human flourishing, as we say.
That's great. Sergios, this has been great having you on today. I think your model is super interesting. When you go to somewhere like Super Return Berlin, what types of individuals, like what are you doing there? Who are you trying to meet? What does a good deal look like for you? Or like what's the purpose?
Because we're an allocator, as I said, because we advise our clients, investors from an institutional perspective, we meet many fund managers. And it's a great place to be because you have them all in one place, right? It's even in the proximity of 100, 200 meters. So we arrange many meetings with fund managers by being a bit proactive to see who is there, what are we looking for to make it more targeted and efficient and effective. And then we also socialize with other people from family offices, from any industry participant, entrepreneurs are also there. So there is a lot of flow of ideas, information. It's fun also.
Yeah, amazing. Sergios, again, pleasure having you on the show today and happy to add you to the series. What's the best ways for listeners and people to follow up and to connect with you and your team?
They can connect with us from our website, www.altnovel.co, but also they can find me on LinkedIn, connect with me, message me, and I'm always responsive.
Fantastic. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. You heard me correct. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow. And Sturgios, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much, Adam. It was great being here and have this enjoyable conversation with you.